Hey everyone, Jedi Mike here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 6th and final season of Solar Opposites.
Oh, the Hulu Science Monitor just announced this is our final season.
Bollocks!
And this is my non-spoiler review. The full season will be released on Hulu on October 13th. And this is my non-spoiler thoughts. First, I'm a fan of this show, and I'm sad to hear that this show is going to be wrapping up after 6 seasons. Hopefully, you know, if the show gets picked up for in a different network, possibly. But I felt this season was a good, satisfying conclusion to this entertaining and hilarious show. 6 seasons, and this, I can say this season is a love letter to all the people who have followed this season, this show between season 1 and all the way up to season 6. First, I would just say that I really enjoyed in terms of the dynamic that they give in terms of this alien family just trying to fit in, right? In this world right now, we're finding other ways of comedy, trying to remind us of highlighting our personal experiences, and this show does that to a T, but in a very humor in a very hysterical way, but also realistic way too, even though you're using these alien characters as well. I will say that in terms of this particular season, there is nods that they have in terms of Easter eggs and jokes from the previous seasons that are clearly obvious to returning viewers, but for new viewers, there's some other things that you probably are seeing for the first time if you go back and binge all of the previous seasons, season 1 and season 5. I will say this, that with this particular show, I did like how, again, non-spoiler, how the wall and the silver cop, the B and C plot, how it was basically resolved in this season. And I felt they did in a really good way in terms of showing that they're evolving that plot line, but even then, as they do in every season of trying to explore a different genre, I think they did a really good job in terms of tying up all loose ends and kind of giving us a good payoff for that plot. In terms of the Silver Cop story, I believe it was done justice in terms of you know, how to display that in this particular season, and I appreciate that the writers and the creators wrapped up these storylines, because again, it feels like there was no time wasted again with these episodes that you have coming for this season, that you know, this being the final season, that they kind of wrap up any loose ends with the Silver Cop storyline and everything. And with that, you know, whereas we're getting through the story, you kind of see, if in terms of pacing, feel like if you have a filler episode or an episode that has all the plot being explored and actually tied up. And this season, I thought the pacing was very strong. I think they did a really good job in terms of, again, giving you a love letter to the fans who followed this show for 6 seasons. Again, for me as being a fan, I definitely love the stories with, you know, Terry, Corvo, Jesse, the Poopa as well. One thing I really relate to this show, again, is just that the fact that this alien family is trying to fit in. As someone that, you know, is trying to build a family, I can honestly relate that you feel like you're a fish out of water, and sometimes, but also that the way to go through life, in a lot of cases, is through humor. And I have a sense of humor myself, and I definitely could relate to a lot of dynamic in this show. I will say though that this being on Hulu, hopefully that maybe possibly might get picked up from a different network, but particularly because it's Disney, I think that after you watching this season, you feel like maybe 6 seasons was enough. You know, I think there is a common trend where we're seeing shows going on longer than they should have, and some shows that were cut short. But this, I felt that we got a satisfying conclusion where, even though you're disappointed that you're not going to have this show coming back every season, at least you know that you're happy in terms of the story that they provide to you, and feel, you know, fulfilled, so satisfied. And for me, I felt satisfied watching all these episodes in season 6. Now, I will say though that in terms of the plot of this particular season, again, I think if for this season, if you were jumping in as a new viewer, you're probably gonna have a little bit difficult time trying to jump in and understand everything going on. But again, if you are a veteran in terms of Solar Opposites, that I feel like you're going to really understand the Easter eggs, and that some of the moments that are revealed in the plot actually be more rewarding to you than to a new viewer. That makes sense, right? Because I understand with shows, you know, especially for me, I'm a nerd and I read all sorts of you know, lore and everything. So I'm jumping in on a show, watching it from, you know, start to finish, right? But if you want to actually create a bingeable experience now that this show is wrapping up, I think that you have great material for this to binge on Hulu and on Disney Plus and everything. Because again, you have amount of content just to consume this a great show with many of these funny characters. But also, I think again, this will be a great wrap up in terms of this show Solar Opposites on Disney, or which will be premiere on Hulu on October 13th. I will say I did prefer other seasons more than this one, even though again I do believe that this was a love letter. I kind of prefer season 3 and season 4, just particularly my opinion, because I just like that arc that they're going in that storyline. But again, I think for this, this is not one of the weakest seasons of this show by far, I will say. Definitely I'll put it in the top 3, and probably rank it maybe around maybe 3rd or 2nd best, because I think I kind of put this on par for like season 4 personally. But I did again enjoy the story that they went here for Solar Opposites, and you guys were able to check this show when it premieres on Hulu at October 13th. Again, this is my non-spoiler review. Make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share, and make sure you go check out Solar Opposites on Hulu. All right, see you guys next video. Peace.
My family loves Earth, and I love my family.
A little help here!
Terry, you've beamed yourself into the ceiling again.